Hey everybody, welcome back. Thanks for joining me again. I was asked specifically to do a video about trust. How do you trust again? How do you trust again after spending 2, 3, 5, 10, 20 or more years with someone who completely demolished any trust that you had? They just completely wrecked it. How do you trust from that point on? My answer to that is my own experience. I had a very difficult time with trust on different levels with different people, starting with the new relationship that I was in at the time, and that was with John. It was something that we even went and discussed at therapy together, and we even talked about it in one of our videos that we did together, and John was really concerned about that. To rehash it a bit, it wasn't an outward display of distrust or a lack of trust. I was keeping it to myself, and John knew it. I really struggled with it, and I had to do a lot of talking to myself. I had to talk to our therapist. We talked to her together. She told him, keep doing what you're doing. He did everything right. He wasn't doing anything to make me not trust him. I had to start separating everything and compartmentalizing what was going on in my life, what had gone on in my life, apply things as needed. And I could not apply a lack of trust on our relationship. There was absolutely no basis for it once I examined it and, had some nice quiet talks with myself. It was just a matter of flexing some new muscles to build and regain that trust. I dug deep, and I thought back to when John and I only knew each other as a student and instructor when we were flying together. Even during that time, it just made me feel that much more miserable about my own marriage at the time. We would go and, we spent 70 plus hours stuck in a Cessna 152 together. You can't get much closer to somebody than that, except on a New York City subway. Hours, doing ground together, sitting, talking, and going over charts, and him teaching me things about flying. And we were always alone during that time. There was rarely a time when we weren't alone. Alone in public, but alone in the plane, alone, pre-flighting. There were times when we were alone at the airport when I was night flying with him, and I did all my night flying, like 10 hours of night flying. We split that up over a couple of nights, and it was literally just him and I at this airport. And he never did anything inappropriate, never said anything inappropriate, never made me think that he wasn't trustworthy. And I went back to all of that, and I thought, if that's the type of man that he is and he has that integrity, why am I questioning it now? Why would I think he's any different now? He has shown me who he is. So I dug deep in my situation, in my particular relationship, and I was able to, fortunately, because I did know him on a student-instructor level before we were in a relationship. So how do you apply that when you meet somebody brand new? Well, you let them show you. You let them show you, and you listen to your instincts. Let them show you what type of person they are when you're out in public and you talk about past relationships, or you talk about friends or family or anything. They're going to reveal all that to you. If they're bad-mouthing other people, or they're bad-mouthing their ex, or they're bad-mouthing their family, that says a lot about a person. It tells you a lot about their character. There's that. And there's your instincts. You've got to listen to your instincts. Sixth sense, your guts. Whatever it is. My guts, my guts are really something. Let me tell you, my gut, my instincts, my sixth sense told me a lot when I was with the narcissist, when I was in that marriage and in that relationship, and I found a way to ignore it, justify it, put it aside, whatever it was I did at the time, allowing him to manipulate me. But my guts told me a lot, and I realize now that they were right. And just recently, I had a situation where I had a dream, and some situation and this person were very heavy on my mind, And I told John about it, and lo and behold, within a day or two, a close family member heard from that person. And I mean, we just kind of looked at each other. He looked at me, and I knew exactly what he was thinking, and he knew exactly what I was thinking, because it really came out of the blue, but it followed very closely with me telling him I had this dream and I've been having these feelings and it's weighing heavily on me, and then boom, so we have that. We have those feelings, those instincts, those inclinations. They're there for a reason, so you need to listen to them. Don't ignore them. Try to separate them, though, from reality. Try to separate them from your anxiousness or your baggage and your lack of trust because of the past relationships. Try to make sure that you're separating them and that you're not letting them get away or get in the way of something good, of something potentially positive. But yeah, there was definitely some, I had to examine a lot of things. I had to do my own personal internal study as far as trust went. In my case, there was no basis for me to not trust John. There was absolutely no basis for it. Hopefully, you'll find yourself in that situation. You'll find yourself with someone who doesn't give you reason, doesn't give you cause to question them, to question their honesty and their sincerity. It's not even in a romantic relationship that you question those things. Even in your friends, your circle of friends, your circle of family. After all of this happened, and my ex showed his true colors, and my mother showed hers, and my family showed theirs, and this, that, and the other thing. My instincts kept questioning one particular person. My instincts kept kind of niggling at me and wondering if that person too was going to turn on me, if you will. For some reason, it was always kind of in the back of my mind, back here somewhere, and I couldn't really put a finger on it. That little voice was always just there. What if, what if, what if? And sure as hell, that's exactly what happened. It is exactly what happened. So you've got to trust your instincts, your inner voices, that sixth sense, your juju, whatever you want to call it. Whatever you want to call it, trust it. Trust it, and just check out a person's behavior and base it all on that. Not everybody. It's such a difficult thing coming out of an abusive relationship. It's such a difficult thing to accept that not everybody is rotten. Not everybody is an a-hole. Not everybody is a liar. Not everybody is, just looking out for themselves. There are definitely some really good people in this world. I think when you rid yourself of the toxic people and the negativity, you open yourself to encounter more of those good people. It just sort of happens. It's like this, it's just sort of like this magnetic pull when you are surrounded by negativity, and your mind and your soul and everything is saturated with that negativity and with those toxic people. It's like the polarity is in place, instead of the magnets drawing each other to them, they're like fighting, and it's like you want to be around good people, but you're putting out negative vibes yourself because of all the crap you carry, and you're sort of pushing the good stuff away. So it's critical that you get the bad stuff out of your life so you can start attracting the good things. It's hard. It is not an easy thing. I get it. I understand. But as far as trust goes, start with just examining a person's behavior, how they treat you, how they talk to you, how they talk about other people, just very general things like that, and trusting your instincts. Your instincts are huge. They're going to tell you a lot. They're going to guide you, and they're going to help you. So I hope this helps. Thanks for joining me again. I'll be back with some more. Promise. Ciao for now.